Hello and welcome to today's math lesson. So first of all guys, can we all turn to wave and say a big hello to our friends on camera? Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our laps and close our eyes. And when you're ready, guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. And next we'll do our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And we can begin by stretching up high to the sky. High as we can. And this time we can go tippy-toe high. And while we're there, let's have a wave side to side. And then back down to touch our toes one more time. And then let's stand up straight, hands on hips, have a wiggle side to side. Stop. And now another wiggle side to side. Stop. Forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, and stop. And now we'll go rounds and rounds. Rounds and rounds. And stop. Next we'll go back the other way. Give our spines a nice stretch, go back the other way. And to finish, guys, we will do 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brilliant. Have a seat. So in our previous math lesson, can anybody tell me what we began learning how to do? What type of calculations did we do when we take one number away from another? Subtraction, that's right. And this is what we call the subtraction symbol. It's a straight line that goes across. And like I said in the previous lesson, it has two names. It can be called subtraction, S-U-B-T-R-A-C-T-I-O-N. Subtraction, or you might hear it also referred to as minus. Yes, subtraction and minus mean the same thing. In the same way that addition and plus mean the same things. This can be called the subtraction symbol or the minus symbol. Just remember, they both mean the same thing. And what we began learning how to do is how to take large digit numbers away from other large digit numbers. And what I'm going to do now is have my students come forward and demonstrate their understanding. So first of all, guys, let's close our eyes and let's see who can come and do the first subtraction sum. Okay, so now our first student has her pen. Pak Bung, can you come and join me at the front, please? And as we can see, I have written two large digit numbers on the board. We have 234,568 minus 140,752. Okay, so Pak Bung, can you now demonstrate by drawing your subtraction table how we can take one number from the other? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Perfect. Now, how many digits do we have? 6 digits. So making sure of place value, we'll now write the number to take away underneath. Comma, brilliant, Pak Bung, well done. And 52. Perfect. Now we're ready to do our subtraction equation. So where do we start? Will we start with the 100,000s? No, we always start with the ones. So 8 minus 2 equals 6. 6 minus 5 equals 1. Now, 5 minus 7 we cannot do. We need to borrow. So the 4 becomes a 3 and the 5 becomes a 15. Now, 15 minus 7 equals 8. Excellent. We can do it after we've borrowed. And then we need our comma. Perfect, Pak Bung, well done. So now it's not 4 minus 0 because we've borrowed from that comma. 3 minus 0 equals 3. Now, 3 minus 4. We need to borrow again. So 2 becomes 1 and 3 becomes 13. So 13 minus 4 equals 9, yes. And now 1 minus 1 equals, excellent. So now we have our final answer. So we can say together, guys, 234,568 minus 140,752 equals 93,816. And that is how we correctly subtract one number from another, bearing in mind place value all the time. Pak Bung, that was excellent. High five and a big round of applause for Pak Bung, please, guys. Okay, so now let's close our eyes again. We're going to do another subtraction sum. So let's see, this time we will have Okay, and we now have our next student to show us how to work out our subtraction sum. So I'd like to invite Pat. Come to the front of class, please, Pat. And stand here for me, please. Okay, so first of all, let's read our subtraction equation together. 752,914 minus 36,822. Now the first thing to notice here, guys, how many digits does this number have? 6. How many digits does this number have? So remember about place value. Pat, can you now write your subtraction table here? So first of all, our large number. 52,914. Excellent, well done, Pat. Minus. Exactly, well done, Pat, well remembered. You see, we have to look at the place value of the 5 digits. Perfect, because in the 5-digit number, the 100,000 column has no value. There's no digit there. And now we can begin. So, 4 minus 2, guys, equals 2. Now, 1 minus 2. We need to borrow. So the 9 becomes 8, and the 1 becomes 11. Okay, so now 11 minus 2 equals 9. And now we've got 8 minus 8 equals 0. And then, Pat, what comes next? Excellent, comma. Okay, now again, 2 minus 6. Cannot. What do we need to do? Borrow. So 5 becomes 4, and 2 becomes 12. So now 12 minus 6 equals 6. 4 minus 3 equals 1. And now, because we're only taking away a 5-digit number from a 6-digit number, we have 7 in the 100,000s column, but nothing to take away. So we simply write it again as our answer. 7, yes. Well done, Pat. So now we have our answer. So we can say 752,914 minus 36,822 equals 716,092. And that's our answer. And Pat correctly worked out the place value. When we have 6 digits and 5 digits, we need to make sure the numbers are properly aligned. Otherwise, we're subtracting the wrong numbers and we'll get the wrong answer. But Pat, that was brilliant. High five and a big round of applause for Pat, please, guys. What we're going to do in today's lesson, we're going to move on. We're going to stay with subtraction, but we're not going to be subtracting 2 numbers. We're going to be subtracting 3 numbers. And what we've got now is a PowerPoint presentation that shows us the 2-step process to correctly subtract 3 numbers. So let's all turn to look at the TV screen, guys. So let's take a look at our PowerPoint presentation, Subtraction, Lesson 2. Today we'll look at how to subtract 3 numbers. So here we are, guys. How many numbers can you see? 3 large numbers. We have 837,425 minus 24,933. And then minus again 12,784. Okay, now we look at the two-step process to correctly subtract these numbers. So you can see there are three numbers. What we need to do first of all is organize. The first step will be to take the largest number and then subtract the second number. So what we need to do is we need to do our table like this. Now, the first number, how many digits, guys? 6. We have 6 digits in our large number. How many digits in our second number? 5. Yes. So what we need to do is make sure with place value that our digits are properly aligned so that we're subtracting the correct numbers. So step 1, 837,425 minus 24,933. Okay, so where do we start, guys? Do we start with the 100,000s or do we start with the ones? So always start with the ones. So the first equation, 5 minus 3. So what we need to do, 5 minus 3 equals 2. Now, the next column, 2 minus 3. Can we do? No. What do we need to do? Borrow. So we borrow from the 4. So 4 will become 3, and what will 2 become? 12, yes. So you see now, 12 minus 3 equals 9, yes. So we've got our answer in the tens column. Next, it's on to the hundredths. So it's not 4 minus 9 anymore because we've borrowed 1. It's 3 minus 9. Can we do? No. We need to borrow again from the next column. So 13 minus 9 equals 4. Okay? Now, what's the next column after the hundreds? Thousands. The next place value column after the hundreds is the thousands. And what do we need to put after the third digit, guys? Comma. Well done. So now, 6 minus 4 equals 2. The next one after the thousands, 10,000s. 3 minus 2 equals 1. And because we've got no value of the 5-digit number in the 100,000s, 8 minus 0 equals 8. So we now have our answer for step 1. After we take this number from this number, the answer 812,492. But are we finished yet? No. We still need to take away our final number. So what we do now is we take the number that we're left with after step 1 and we take away our final number. So step 2, 812,492 minus 12,784. Okay, so let's begin with the ones again. 2 minus 4. Can we do? No. What do we need to do? Borrow, yes. So 2 becomes 12. 12 minus 4 equals 8. But then the 9 that we've borrowed from becomes 8 too. So 8 minus 8 equals 0. 4 minus 7. No. Borrow again. So we're borrowing from the 2. So what will 4 become when we borrow from the 2? 14 minus 7 equals 7. Well done. And now, because we borrowed from the 2, the next column is the thousands. So you can see we had 2 and we borrowed from. So now 1 minus 2, can we do? No. So again, we need to borrow here. And then 11 minus 2 equals 9. 0 minus 1 cannot do. So once again, we borrow from the next column. 10 minus 1 equals 9. But then the 8 that we borrowed from, what will it become? Equals 7. Well done. And because there's no value in the 5-digit number we're taken from, we simply write the 7 again. So now we have our final answer. And we can say 837,425 minus 24,933 minus 12,784 equals 799,708. And that's how we can correctly subtract 3 numbers together. By step 1, taking away the second largest number from the largest, and then finally taking the third number from the answer of the 2 first numbers. Any questions, guys? That was brilliant. Well done. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation about how to take 2 numbers away from a large digit number. And what we're going to be doing soon is a flash exercise for our students to practice further how to do this process using the 2 steps. But first of all, guys, let's do our stretch sequence. So stand up and push in our chairs. And for this sequence, we'll begin with some rotations. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And next, we'll take our right hand and we will find our left foot. Then our left foot, right hand. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. And final couple now. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Okay, and let's stand up and give it a shake, guys. Shake it out. Arms and legs, shake it out. And to finish, we will do 5 star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. And what we've got now, we've got our flashcards activity for our students to practice how to subtract 3 numbers by taking 2 numbers away from the large digit number using the 2-step process we've seen in the PowerPoint presentation. So teachers, what you'll need to do first is to print off the flash sheets and cut all of the subtraction equations into individual flashcards. Fold them up and place them into a bowl. And what we're going to do now is we're going to have our students come forward and pick a sum and work it out on the board. So, first of all, we need our bowl with our sums. Here we go. And now, I would like to invite Prel to come forward and choose the first subtraction sum involving 3 numbers. So, Prel, you get first pick, anyone you want. And you can show it to your friends. So let's see, what numbers do we have, guys? 862,646 minus 434,783. And then finally, minus 22,457. So, Prel, first thing to do is to write our subtraction equation on the board. And I will hold this here for you. 862,646 minus 434,785. Okay, so we're now ready for step 1. So we can begin. 6 minus 5 equals 1. 4 minus 8, we need to borrow. So 6 becomes 5. Brilliant. So now 14 minus 8 equals 6. 5 minus 7, we need to borrow again. Perfect, well done. So now 15 minus 7 equals 8. And then our comma, brilliant. 1 minus 4, need to borrow again. 11 minus 4 equals 7. Now 5 minus 3 equals 2. 8 minus 4 equals 4. Okay, so now we've got our answer for step 1. Our answer for step 1, 427,861. Brilliant. And now what we can do is we can take the last number away from this number. So our final number, 22,000. So okay, Claire, what you can do, you can write this answer here again in your next table. Excellent. And now we have 22,057. So now we're ready for step 2. Okay. 1 minus 7. We need to borrow. So 6 becomes 5. 1 becomes 11. 11 minus 7 equals 4. 5 minus 5? 0. 8 minus 4? 4. Then our comma. 7 minus 2 equals 5. 0. 4 minus nothing equals 4. Perfect. So now, after step 1 and step 2, we have our answer. 405,404. Prel, that was excellent. High five and a big round of applause for Prel, guys. Thank you. And now we can do our next subtraction sum. So now I'd like to invite my second student to come forward and choose a subtraction sum. Lakgao, can you come and join me at the front of class, please? So now, Lakgao, you can choose a sum and show it to your friends. 385,281 minus 222,576 minus 40,284. So the first thing to do is let's write step 1 on the board. So Lakgao, what we'll do, our table will be the first number, 385,281 minus 222,576. Okay, so now we're ready for step 1. 1 minus 6, borrow. So 8 becomes 7, and 1 becomes 11. 11 minus 6 equals 5, yes. 11 minus 6 equals 5. 7 minus 7, 0. 2 minus 5, borrow again. So 5 becomes 4, and 2 becomes 12. 12 minus 5 equals 7. Well done. And then what do we need next, guys? Comma. And 4 minus 2 equals 2. Equals 6. Equals 1. Perfect. So now we have our answer for the end of step 1. 162,705. So Lakgao, can you now write this number again here? 162,005. And what we need to do now is we need to take our third number away. Minus 40,284. Brilliant. Well done. So now we start again with the ones column always first. 5 minus 4 equals 1. 0 minus 8, borrow. So 7 becomes 6, 0 becomes 10. Brilliant, guys. Equals 4. Then what comes next? Comma. 2 minus 0. 6 minus 4 equals 2. 1 minus nothing equals 1. So now we have our final answer. So we can read it all together. We can say 385,281 minus 222,576 minus 40,284 equals 122,421. Lakgao, that was amazing. Very well done. Big round of applause for Lakgao, guys. So teachers, you can see the activity that we're doing in our classroom now, and we've give a couple of demonstrations of the step-by-step process to do it. You can pause the video now and play on with your students for around the next 10 minutes or so, and we'll carry on playing here. So now I'd like to ask for Nadia, come and join me at the front of class, please. So Nadia, you can choose your sum and show it to your friends. So we have 294,163 minus 34,948 minus 123,456. Okay, so Nadia, first thing to do, let's do step 1 on the board together. So you can write 294,163 minus 34,948. Perfect. So now we're ready for step 1. So 3 minus 8. Can we do? No. What do we need to do? Borrow. So 6 becomes 5. And 3 becomes 13. 13 minus 8 equals 5. So we can write 5 as our answer. And then Nadia, 5 minus 4 equals 1. Now, 1 minus 9, can we do? Need to borrow. So 4 becomes 3. 1 becomes 11. 11 minus 9 equals 2. Well done. And then after our third digit, comma. Brilliant. Now 3 minus 4. Need to borrow again. So 9 becomes 8. And 3 becomes 13. 13 minus 4 equals 9. 8 minus 3 equals 5. And then 2 minus nothing, 2. So now we have our answer for step 1. 259,215. So we're now ready for step 2. Nadia, can you write this number here? And then we can minus or subtract our third number. 259,215 minus 123,456. Excellent. So we start all over again with step 2. 5 minus 6. Can we do? No. What do we need to do, guys? Borrow. So 1 becomes 0. 5 becomes 15. 15 minus 6. 15 minus 6 equals 9. And then 0 minus 5. We need to borrow again. So 2 becomes 1. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 equals 5. 1 minus 4. Need to borrow. Well done, Nadia. So 11 minus 4 equals 7. Comma. 8 minus 3 equals 5. Perfect. And we're finally at the end of our 2-step process of taking away, subtracting 3 numbers. So we have 135,759 as our answer. Nadia, that was brilliant. High five and a big round of applause for Nadia, guys. And a big round of applause for everybody doing a great job. Well done. And now it's time for our worksheet part of the lesson. So teachers, you'll need to give each student in your class a worksheet. And there's a series of 5 subtraction problems, all involving 3 large numbers. So what our students need to do is work out the answers using the 2-step process that we've been seeing in the PowerPoint and Flash exercises to give us the answers in the spaces provided. But what's the first thing to do, guys? Write our names on top. And give our students around 10 minutes to answer, because there's 5 different problems and it's 3 numbers in each. And we can monitor the class and help them with anything they need. So Chu, this one's for you. Flo, for you. Pat, for you. Nadia, here's yours. You're welcome. You're welcome, Ned. You're welcome. Lakgao for you and Bangbon for you. So guys, remember subtraction. And thinking about the 2-step process that we did earlier on the board and in the PowerPoint exercise, try to answer them that way and show your working out in the table. If you need any help with anything, let me know. I can demonstrate on the board. So the first one, 492,076 minus 104,635. So the first step, 6 minus 5 equals 1. 7 minus 3, 4. 8 minus 6, 2. Then 2 minus 4, we need to regroup or borrow. 12 minus 4, 8. 8, 3. So there we have our answer for step 1. And what we can do now is we can take the third number away from the answer to 1 and 2. 1 minus 3, we cannot do. 11 minus 3, 8. 3 minus 5, we need to borrow. Again. So guys, at the end of your 2-step process for question number 1, your answer should be 352,988. Excellent, Nadia. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet activity where they had to work their way through the various mathematical problems involving subtraction of 3 numbers. And as you can see here, my students have all answered them very well using the 2-step process that we learned earlier. So well done, guys. That was excellent. And that's all we've got time for in today's lesson. So we hope you've enjoyed it, found it interesting, and also now know if you have to subtract 3 numbers, you know what the 2-step process of how to do it. And we'll see you again soon for the next lesson. So can we turn to wave and say goodbye? Goodbye. Bye-bye. See you again next time.